Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to just be posting a kind of brief video on how to run safely in these really high temperatures we're having. I don't know about where you are, but here down in Texas, the temperature has decided to consistently be over 100 degrees, and if you know anything about running in heat, you'll know that running outside in heat is not ideal in these temperatures, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Not everybody has access to treadmills. Not everybody can get out super early in the morning and go when it's cooler. By cooler, I mean like 80 degrees at 5 a.m. So we are going to be talking about just a few little tips to help keep you safe when you're out running this summer. Before we get into this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I love having you here. So without further ado, let's get into this. So we are going to talk about roughly 5 things. Some of them will have subpoints. Some of them are pretty no nonsense, but kind of bear repeating because if you're not used to it, you may not know or you may not think about them. So first thing I suggest you do is to plan ahead. Have an idea the night before of where you want to go, how far you want to go. Start drinking water and any electrolyte solutions you might want to use the night before and give your body a chance to hold on to them instead of just like trying to pound a gallon of water and then go out, because all you're going to do is have to pee while you're running. So make sure you have a hydration plan in place. Eat something before you go out in the morning. Make sure you have some kind of food in your stomach. Nothing too heavy, but especially something carbohydrate to go with all that water and electrolytes to help your body hold on to it. I also highly suggest you either run with someone or tell someone where you're going. If I am running outside in the heat in Texas, I text my husband if he is not home, or I take him with me. My husband is also a licensed paramedic, so it doesn't hurt to take him with me in case I decide to fall out. So tell somebody, text them, let them know where you're going, approximately how long it's going to take. And if you have not contacted them in a predetermined amount of time, have them either contact you or maybe have somebody come and look for you. Heat-related injuries can happen suddenly without much warning, and you need immediate assistance. So make sure somebody knows where you're going in case something bad does happen to you. If you have a Garmin like I do, you can program it to contact other people should something happen to you. I suggest you do that. Make sure that person knows that you're their contact. Don't be surprising people with that. So make sure somebody knows where you are. Let them know when you leave, when you're done. Common sense. Keep yourself safe. I suggest you do this anyway, especially if you're a female running alone. Let somebody know when you're going out and when you should be back. Just keep yourself safe. All right, so tip number 2 is wear light colored clothing. So I am generally an all black everything kind of girl. I love black. Nothing beats a black gym fit for sure, except when you're running. So you don't want to be invisible, and wearing black, you're more likely to get hit by a car. People just don't notice you as much. And it's hot, especially because most running clothes are very form-fitting. It's going to be hot. There's not a lot of room for air circulation. So you want to wear a light colored clothing that's going to help reflect back some of the sun, some of the heat. I do not suggest you go in just a sports bra unless you are very, very used to that. Wear at least a tank top to help hold onto sweat and cool your body. Also, sunscreen makes it hard for the skin to breathe. I do recommend wearing sunscreen, but if you're wearing just a sports bra and you're covered mostly in sunscreen, it's gonna be a little bit harder to absorb sweat. It kind of will sit on top of the sunscreen, especially a mineral sunscreen. I wore a mineral sunscreen on my face the other day, and I felt like my sweat just sat on top of my skin and couldn't be absorbed and used by my body to help cool me down. So I suggest you wear at least a tank top, something for your sweat to hold on to, but it needs to be a light color, like white. I wear a lot of light blue, a lot of white. Wear a light colored top. If you run in shorts, there's a lot of options for light colored shorts. If you are a long leggings kind of girl, you don't have as many options. They don't make a lot of like light colored running pants. So bear that in mind. I wore a pair of long pants yesterday to run. I ran 4 miles in the heat and I wore long pants because after about 3 miles, I hate body glide, but I need something, so I wear long pants so my legs don't rub together. Just be careful playing your water breaks. Keep an eye on yourself. But if you can wear a light colored top and like a light colored hat, please do that. It'll help keep you a little bit cooler. I always wear a hat and sunglasses when I run, but I wear a light colored hat. So do your best to wear a light color, at least on the top of you. Wear your sunscreen. Number 3, I call them water laps. I don't know what other people call them. So I leave my water either on my front porch at my house if I'm running in my neighborhood, or if I've gone into another part of town to run because I'm looking for specific terrain, I will leave my water at my car and I will plan my 1 mile loops around my car so I can always come back. I like to do a mile in between water when it's hot. You can kind of set your own pace. You know your body better than I do. But for me, I need to be about a mile in between water laps. So leave your water or your electrolyte or both at your car. If you have a cooler, even better, keep them a little bit cool. And then run your distance and then go back to your car and get your water. I know some running groups, people will come and drop coolers of water at certain spots for the group to have water. So you need to have a way to get water or electrolyte, whatever you're used to using, into yourself consistently. I highly suggest an electrolyte during this heat. Is hot and you're sweating, you're losing sweat, you're losing sodium, you're losing a bunch of your essential electrolytes that you need. So I recommend a electrolyte replacement, but if you're not used to one, if water works for you, hey, get some water, or just bring a Gatorade if you're not gonna get an actual like proper electrolyte replacement. Bring some Gatorade with you, but I recommend putting them in a cooler, like in the back of your car or whatever. Just keep it a little bit cold, help bring your body temperature down, but not like shockingly down. So leave it in your car and run around it in a set distance so you always are easily accessible with your water or your electrolyte. Okay, this one's a little bit controversial. Tip number 4. I had to do this yesterday. I've read research for it. I've read research against it. I know people who love it. I know people who say it doesn't even count. Why do it? Break up your runs if you have to, and if you have the time available to you. If you have time to do a portion of your run in the morning and then a portion of your run in the evening before it gets, when the temperature has started to drop, I recommend you do that. I did 2 miles yesterday in the early afternoon because I didn't have time in the morning. I had to do it in the early afternoon. And then I did the other 2 in the evening when my son was in class, and I ran in a shadier area. Run in the shade. I like to do shade sprints. So if there's like a shaded area from trees over here, I will like run to it and I will run in between the shade. But again, not the point. If you can split up your runs, I recommend you do it, especially when you're getting it, if you're doing like marathon training and you're doing really long runs and you just cannot get up at 2 a.m. I suggest you break it up. If you're working with a coach, talk to your coach, do whatever they tell you. But I recommend breaking up your runs in this weather. And this is, again, just if you don't have access to like treadmills or whatever. I recommend you break it up. Do some in the morning, some in the evening. It's a little bit cooler. I have to do it during the summer if I'm running outside. Like, it's just a thing that happens. So if that is an option available to you, do some in the morning, do some in the evening, do some inside if you have availability to a gym in the morning, and then finish outside if that's not an option anymore in the afternoon. It's just something you could try. I've done it several times, several summers in a row, in training for half marathons, all kinds of stuff. So it works for me. It doesn't hurt to try it. So, and the last thing I want to tell you is be okay with running slower. The heat and the humidity have a way of just draining the life out of you, and you are going to just run slower, and that's all there is to it. It's better to run a little bit slower and not pass out than to try and book it at your normal low heat, low humidity pace and possibly risk having a heat stroke, heat exhaustion, heat cramps, nausea, vomiting, all the stuff that comes with it. So I highly suggest you be a little more comfortable with reducing your speed so that you can still run. It's better to run slow and get your miles than to run fast and you can't do more than a couple. Like if you're out on a 7-mile run and you book it at your normal pace, you hit mile 4, you may be too tired. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm saying it could happen. I don't know your personal dynamics or anything like that. I'm saying it's a thing that could happen. So anticipate dropping your pace a little bit just so you can actually get your runs done. The heat and the humidity also drive up your heart rate, so you're going to feel like you're working harder. I read somewhere it was up to 10 beats per minute or higher in 90 plus degree weather with a high humidity and high dew point. So be careful, slow down your run. It's a good time to try some low zone training if you ever wanted to try some zone 2 training. For me, zone 2 training is a walk. I don't know. I cannot. Y'all, I run in zone 4 at all times, and that is super comfortable for me. So I don't know, but reduce your speed, get your miles in, be safe, keep a check on your body. So that's my 5 tips. And something I really want to touch on before we close out this video is I highly suggest you go on Google and look up heat-related injury symptoms. There's heat stroke, there's heat exhaustion, there's what is the other one I'm trying to think of? Anyway, just Google heat-related illnesses. Go through the list and learn the symptoms. Usually it's you're really hot, but you can't sweat. You're nauseous. You're lightheaded. You're dizzy. So this is not an exhaustive list, and this is not for any one particular illness. Please Google it. If I can find the little chart, I'll insert it here. I saw a little chart floating around with all the heat-related illnesses, their symptoms, and how to treat it, and I will put that here. The best way to treat it, if you are truly in danger, if you feel like you need assistance, please run with your phone and call 911. Heat-related illnesses, again, they come on quickly and they require immediate care. Please learn the symptoms, and please carry your phone at all times when you're running in the summer. And if you can run with somebody, please run with them and make sure that they know the symptoms of heat-related illnesses. There's too much on the line. It's just not worth it to not know. So if I can, again, I'll find the chart, I'll insert it here, and I will try and link something down below with easy access to all the heat-related illnesses and how to treat them. Please, everybody knows the number for 911. If you need assistance, please call. Don't die for something that could have been avoided. So I think that's it. That's everything I wanted to cover. Drink your water, run in the shade, wear light clothes, have a friend, know your route, learn the symptoms of heat-related illness. So that's pretty much all I can really think of right now to help with summer running. If you are watching this and you're a more experienced runner, you run more long distances, or if you live in somewhere even hotter, I know certain parts of the world it is far hotter than it gets here in Texas, and there are still some truly amazing athletes and runners. If you are any of these people watching the video, drop your your tips down in the comments below. Because it may be helpful to other people. So if you have even better hot weather running tips, drop them down in the comments below. I want to read them. I live in a very hot and humid climate, so I'm always looking for the next best thing. Someone's going to say it, and yes, you're right. Cool towels. Take cool towels with you. Drop them in your cooler. Get them wet. Keep them in your cooler with your cold drinks. You can put those on you as long as it's not too much of a shock to your system. So that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I love having you here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.